wake up, charts glowing like a sunrise dream. Coffee in my cup, got the tickers on the screen. Wallet looking heavy, but my heart stay light. Stacking sets, not stress, yeah, we'll be alright. Late nights in the bear zone, learn to fight alone. Now the green candles burning through the monochrome. Every dip's a lesson, every loss a line. We're writing our story one block at a time. Well, good morning, crypto, the world's still spinning slow. But our coins keep climbing where the fiat won't go. Another day, another chance to grow. So plug in the stream, let the markets flow. Screens flash red, but I don't lose faith. Pain breeds patience, that's the trader's grace. From the bottom to the top, we just play our role. Turn volatility into solid gold. We've been broke, we've been bold, chasing dreams that can't be sold. Every block, every code, it's the anthem of the new age road. Good morning, crypto, yeah, it's time to go. Stack your dreams, let the future show. We ride the waves through the highs and lows. Good morning, crypto, let the whole world know. Wake up, log in, and light that spark. The bull's out early, let's make our mark.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge of financial freedom. Today, I've got some nuclear news to go over. Surprise, surprise, Piper talked about some nuclear news, and I saw some other things coming out of the nuclear space yesterday as well. So we'll be going over all of that. Jay asked a question, and we will have to take a look at that CCJ stock. I did not happen to be holding any of it, but it might be worth taking a look at. We've got some news coming out of PayPal and OpenAI, and we've also got some news coming from Strategy and a ratings on their stock. But before we get to all of that news, you know what I got pulled up in the background? It's that stock heat map. So let's dive on in, get you prepped for some success today. We are seeing a little bit of some movements towards the upside this morning. It is a little bit mixed, but overall, we've got plenty of movement towards the upside. We've got Apple sitting up 0.22%. Keep in mind that it does have some earnings tomorrow. We've got Nvidia up 3.58%. There was some big news coming out of Nvidia as well. We'll end up touching more on that tomorrow. We've got Berkshire Hathaway sitting to the downside this morning, down 0.22. We've got Amazon down 0.1%. Eli Lilly sitting up 0.14. We've got ExxonMobil up 0.1%. We've got Tesla up 0.81% this morning. We've got P&G down 0.24. We've got Microsoft up 0.21. We've got Google sitting down 0.41. It also has some earnings tomorrow. And we've got Meta sitting down 0.03, and it's got some earnings today. Hopping over to the crypto side of things, looking pretty similar over there. We've got a few green bubbles and a lot of red bubbles. So scrolling on down, we've got Bitcoin down 1.2%, looking a little green on that hourly. We've got Ethereum down 2.8, XRP down 0.2. We've got BNB down 1.9, Solana down 1.7. We've got Doge sitting down 2.8, Tron looking quite neutral. We've got Cardano down 2.5, Hyperliquid on a little bit of a tear, sitting up 1.3%, up 1% on the hourly, and taking a spot in the market cap from Chainlink. Chainlink sitting down 2.4%, Bitcoin Cash up 0.1%. We've got Stellar Lumens down 2.9%, SWI sitting down 4%. We've got Leo token up 1.8%. These are those moves that you kind of watch for on those exchange tokens when everything's red. That exchange token normally sees a little bit of green. We've got Avalanche up down 2.8%, but up in the market cap this morning. We've got HBAR down 3.6%, not too unexpected after that absolute tear it did off of the ETF news. And we've got Litecoin down 2.9%. For our fear and greed meters this morning, we've got the stock market still sitting in some fear. There's going to be a FOMC rate decision tomorrow, and Jerome Powell's going to be speaking, so we might be seeing this ticking up towards the end of the week. We'll kind of have to see if we actually get that rate cut, and Jerome Powell comes out saying a little bit of some positive things tomorrow. If so, I do expect that fear and greed for the stock side to hit that neutral range. For the crypto side of things, though, we're looking neutral. So a little bit ahead of that stock market fear and greed meter. But, we did get some nice moves towards the upside, and we will kind of have to see if we hold one of those key levels I talked about on Monday, because we did come down into that big area we were warning about. But we held on the midline of that CME gap that Kellephant just talked about in the chat there. We will get to that in just a second. We've got some liquidity directly towards the downside. That's sitting at 111,700. Quite a bit of liquidity on that 24-hour sitting below us. On this 3-day, we are looking quite nice for a continuation towards the upside if we can clear out some of that bottom side liquidity there. That's sitting at 116,400 for that top side liquidity, and we will see if we can get all the way up there. I do expect to clear out some of that bottom side first before we make our way towards the upside, though. We do have that 2-week looking quite nice. We'll see that in just a second if it loads. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. We have not a bunch of liquidity in our current range, and that's kind of what you want to see. If you get that nice news, you can get that strong pump towards the upside. So let's get over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to the people in the chat. I see JR saying something. Stop it, BC. Now I'll get to you, JR. We were just going through the normal motions, getting everyone prepped, and then we say good morning to the people. So we got Jay first in the chat. Good morning to you. We've got Steve Hickey in here and Donato Cabrera. Good morning to both of you. I've got that CCJ stock on the list for the morning, Jay. So we will take a look at that after we get through our normal looks. We've got Al Jr. in the chat saying good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, sir. We've got Curtis Hill in here. My chat wasn't working on Billy's stream. Sorry, all. I missed it. Well, good morning to you, Curtis Hill. I'm glad the chat's working over here. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit of a boring morning. Jay talking about nukes and nicotine bags. Hey, that's not a bad investment strategy. You might want to add alcohol to that list, because when everything goes a little bit worrisome, the one thing that people don't stop buying is nicotine and alcohol. They need their coping mechanisms. We've got Kellephant in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. We've got JR saying good morning, nerds. We've got Melissa in the chat saying good morning to everyone, dropping those good vibes in here. Let's see what else. Wonder if the CME gap's getting filled today. We were extremely close to it, and we will talk about that in just a second. We got Ada Ace in here. Good morning, sir. Let's see. The realtor that's selling my grandfather's house had some meeting in Texas and told us to be patient. Let's see what's going on with that. Oh, JR saying, you might need another coping mechanism to invest in, and that might be marijuana, which I actually took a look at some of those marijuana stocks a long time ago when that news first started coming out. And I'm really just waiting for it to be legal all over the US before I kind of invest in that. Because then you have free market trade between states, whereas in right now, it's very, very limited as to what state you can grow it in and then send it to. So when you have that more free market ability on those marijuana stocks, definitely an investment I'm looking in. I will be fully investing in because, as I said earlier, people need their coping mechanisms. So we got this daily looking a little bit iffy here. Money flow sitting in the green, but it is heading towards the downside. Wouldn't it be smarter to invest in them before they legalize it so you're early? Yes and no, JR, because yes, but so you get like the full move towards the upside, but no, because I have money to make elsewhere. So my nuclear, if I was sitting in the marijuana stocks, I'd have missed out on some of my nuclear money. So that's why I like to have the security of my investment. Whereas in Kellephant saying it's legal in most states or like half. So it is recreational. It is legal in a bunch of states, but medical, it's legal in more. I want that fully in all states before I'm like, okay, let's invest because it's not going anywhere. So let's see what we got going on here on the daily. We've got a little bit of sideways momentum here. That money flow almost in the red here, so keep your eye on the short-term time frame money flow. We are seeing a little bit of an iffy candle this morning. We got that move all the way up to that old CME, the old fair value gap I was talking about the other day. Let me get that colored in because it was filled with this giant move towards the downside. That was an area we were kind of keeping our eye on to potentially hold price up, because if we ended up losing that, we were coming towards the CME gap. We bounced off of the midline of that yesterday, and then we saw that push back up towards our fair value gap, and now we're sitting between the midline and the top side of our CME gap. Looking to see how that money flow sends us this morning. We are seeing a little bit of weakness on that midline this morning. So what gets wicked often gets candlesticked, and we could potentially look for a little more downside action. We'll kind of have to see how that money flow goes this morning. I do expect a little bit of pumpage this afternoon. So if you want the full pump, you would want to send it a little bit towards the downside, wash a few more people out, and I am expecting to at least hold 11,800. That is not closing the CME gap out, but it is to a nice strong area that we have held before, and that would be a nice little area to see a little bit of some pumping action off of. I do expect a little bit of some waffling around this morning before we see a little more downside though. As you can see, we've got a little bit of support here for now at our London lows on our ICT kill zones, but we are seeing that money flow be a little bit concerning. We are getting a little bit of a rollover here on that MACD, as you can see, and we've got that prime oscillator sitting in the green here while we're printing those green candles on the histogram, but we've got those light green candles on that histogram there. So that money flow sitting in the red. Our volume is kind of peaking up on some selling pressure, so we'll kind of have to keep our eye on that there. we do have a little bit of some downside momentum that could come our way if we continue rolling over there and we continue to see that selling pressure increase. So for now, we are holding up on those Asia market, on that London low, which is 12,800. Nice little support area for now. If we break below it, we've got a little bit of a ways to fall here. So keep your eye on that money flow on the shorter term time frame here. Let's get that 15-minute pulled up. We did get that secondary bounce off of London low, and we are looking to see if we can break below it now. We've got that MACD rolling on over here, but you've got your money flow here starting to get back towards the green. So that's why I say continue to watch that money flow, see if we get that nice support at Asia market lows again, because that prime oscillator also starting to look a little bit cooled off here. So you can get that nice little third bounce off of those London lows, and we've got local resistance up here at $13,250. So a nice little sideways range for the morning so far. We will see if we can break above or if we end up breaking below. I am favoring that break below. We are seeing that nice little hold up for now at the midline. We did get that little bit of a wick below it, but I would like to see that come to the downside just a little bit more, especially if they're going to send it towards the upside this afternoon off of the FOMC and Jerome Powell's speech this afternoon as well. So keep your eye on the afternoon movements. We could be getting that FOMC decision as a rate cut. It is highly expected to be that rate cut, and that could give you a little bit of a push towards the upside there. But to send it towards the upside, you need to send it towards the downside first. And that's why we've gotten a lot of those movements towards the downside there. It is that psychological movement, and we get that quite often. If you're going to send something towards the upside, you want to send it towards the downside first. So 25 basis points is priced in. I disagree heavily. That is why you saw this giant move towards the downside, so they can send it towards the upside. It's that a lot of psychological moves. For some stocks, yes, I would say it's priced in. For BTC, I wouldn't. For those alts, it's definitely not priced in there. So looking a little more for some upside, but to get the upside, you want a little downside there. So let's get over to some of those news articles we had pulled up for the morning. Here's a big one. This was kind of touched on yesterday by Piper, but it was mostly the U.S. involvement of the $80 billion. But you had Japan being the big push behind that $80 billion deal for the investment in nuclear. U.S. and Japan leaders signed rare earths and nuclear power deal ahead of Trump-Xi meeting. Scrolling on down here, let's get on into it. Tokyo, Japan and the United States agree to a deal on new generation nuclear power reactors and rare earths, as Tokyo seeks a way back to export markets for its nuclear technology, and both look to reduce China's dominance over key electronic components. U.S. President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, hopefully I nailed that there, sign a framework agreement on Tuesday for securing the supply of rare earths used in everything from cars to fighter jets. Scrolling on down, they signed the documents, which include critical minerals, at the neo-Baroque style Alaska Palace in Tokyo. Beneath the three chandeliers swayed in gold, or no one cares about that. They made no direct public mention of China, which processes more than 90% of the world's rare earths, making it the source of every country's concern about its mineral supply chain. Beijing has recently expanded export curbs. Scrolling on down to the nuclear section here, In the fact sheet for the talks, Japan mentioned a mutual interest in cooperative in construction of new generation AP-1000 nuclear reactors and small modular reactors. We've talked about both of those here on the channel before. SMRs are the big push for the future of nuclear energy. It allows you to have a small nuclear reactor exactly where you need it for the highest power demands. These would include Japan companies such as Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Toshiba Group, and others, along with the cooperative areas. Nuclear power, including next generation reactors, as a matter of greater energy security, affordable power supply, and export technology, is among the top priorities of Takashi, who became Japan's first female prime minister last week. She is looking quite similar to some of the things that Trump has been interested in when you're talking about the security of your country and breaking away from China for some of that dependency. Rare earths are a big one. We've talked about it here over and over again. China has a over 90% monopoly on the refinery of rare earths. And then when you talk about being energy dependent, like Trump has, and like Takashi has been bringing up, the real way to do that is going to be nuclear energy. And this is why you've seen that big push into nuclear, that $80 billion investment into nuclear here, Trump tapping 11 companies to make new nuclear reactors. You've got Google now stepping in the nuclear race as well. You have Amazon building 11 nuclear reactors in Washington state alone. This train is not going to be slowing down anytime soon. We had PayPal signing a deal with OpenAI to become the first payments wallet in ChatGPT. Some big news coming out of the payment sector. I am a little bit iffy on this because I'm not sure if I trust the AI to send people money just yet, because it still makes some mistakes. Ask it to code you something and it's going to mess up. And this seems a little more crucial than just asking it to code me an indicator here. So PayPal has signed a deal with OpenAI to have its digital wallet embedded into ChatGPT so users can pay for items found through the leading consumer's AI tool. The company told CNBC exclusively. Shares of the company jumped roughly 4% on the news. We'll kind of have to see how this goes, because you know how the next area is going to go. First, it's going to be so that you can pay for things within ChatGPT. And then next, it's going to be so the AI can pay other people for you. And that's definitely a trend. So we will see. AI assistants are growing within ChatGPT. And then you have Claude from Anthropic. These are that next big sector. So keep your eye on that. They need more and more built into the AI so that that AI bot can end up picking up more of the payload there. Strategy, on the other hand, gets a junk credit rating from the S&P in a first for the Bitcoin treasury company. This is not unexpected from me. I've trashed all over the strategy company and how they buy Bitcoin. And apparently I'm not the only one that's noticed. The S&P rejected them from being in their S&P 500. And here you're going to see some of those reasons there. S&P Global Ratings has assigned strategy a junk level B credit rating, with co-founder Michael Saylor noting that it's the first ever rating of a Bitcoin treasury company. Not kind of hard when you were also the first treasury company. But the ratings reflects the company's high Bitcoin concentration, narrow Bitcoin focus, weak risk-adjusted capitalization, and the low U.S. dollar liquidity, which are all going to be issues for it coming into the bear market. Yes, for in the next 12 months, they don't have any of its bonds maturing, But when you start getting a little bit further than that, and the bear market doesn't just last for 12 months, it's normally like a little bit of an 18-month period. At the bottom of the bear market, you're going to have some of these bonds maturing. So that's going to be a big worry for it. $5 billion in convertible debt maturing in 2028. So keep your eye on this one. There is a reason they were rated B. They've got those low cash liquidity to be able to pay people out on. And instead of worrying about paying people out, they're worried about buying Bitcoin at the highs, which is a little bit of a worry there. Keep your eye on this. I do expect it to be a little bit of a bumpy ride for strategy. All right. Do we have any stock requests for the day or any alt request? I had CCJ on that list. Let's see what the chat's going on about now. The 50% Asia line has been holding during UK. Yes, it has. That's where our London lows are for now. Let's see. Trading view is buggy. It's been fine for me. Maybe it's your internet up there in Alaska. AI stole my dog, says JR. What the heck? The dog is sitting in bed with my girl while she's reading her little book there. AIG just listed on KuCoin. All right, we can take a look at AIG. If we got any other requests there, I can take a look at those. I did talk about gold yesterday and Piper's show. We can take a look at gold. We've got Redmond in the house. Good morning to you. I will reach out to you this a little bit later today. We've got some things to talk about. Caliphant, did you really not know what? Oh, never mind. Let's see. Looks like that's it for now. So we get any other alt requests, go ahead, throw them in the list there. We've got all set in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. It went down. BC gets it, says JR. Yeah, it's the big psychological plays. You kind of notice them around data-filled weeks. If they want to send it to the upside on data, you get your big move towards the upside to push it further to the downside. This is Monday here. You get your move towards the upside to send it further towards the downside so that you can send it further towards the upside. And that's where we talked about here, that 18,100 area. That's kind of that upside we'd potentially be looking for. We got Serve requested. How's Serve doing? It got a nice move towards the upside yesterday. OKLO, on the other hand, got a nice little move towards the downside. And I'm really tempted to do a little more buying on OKLO. I got a little dry powder that needs to go somewhere. So we got a few requests now. We will hop into those. We've got WMTX as well. We can take a look at ADA and then maybe WMTX if we don't get any others, because you got a few requests there this morning. Dry powder, no thanks. I'm sober. Oh my goodness, JR. Virtuals, we'll get that one on the list there too before WMTX, since Ada Ace had like 5 requests there. Let's see. Virtuals. All right, got that one on the list. Let's hop on over to gold real quick, and then we'll dive through those. We talked about being in a gold long yesterday in Piper's chat. I was long from back here. We wanted to see that move above. We got that next little move to the downside, and I ended up getting out when we got up towards the upside here. I think it was off of that secondary push towards the upside, and then I entered another long. So I am still sitting in a bit of a long here, and I'm waiting to see if we can get a little bit of continuation. We do have the daily looking a little bit better. As you can see here, we're getting those nice sideways momentums on our oscillator. We are above 3,942. That's an area we were looking for on our chart here. to see if we can get a little support off of. We got a little bit of a move below that towards our platinum pocket, and then really saw that continuation off of that. That's kind of what we talked about. If we couldn't hold 3,942, looking down towards that platinum pocket, 3,900, and then we got our candle closes on the daily above that area of support we were looking for. So might see that nice little bouncing action off of that area, looking for that continuation towards the upside just a little bit. We do have heavy resistance above us now at 4,156. Let's get this as a higher term time frame. That is going to be our first heavy resistance area to really keep your eye on for the meantime, but you are getting a lot of sideways momentum on our oscillators. MACD running a little bit sideways here, prime oscillator running a little bit sideways as well. We do have a little bit of some low volume, but nice green money flow here on the daily. Let's zoom that on in, take a look at our hourly. Hourly is looking a little bit toppy here. We'll kind of have to see, because we can definitely get continuation off of that, because that MACD is just breaking through that zero line here, and your money flow is a little bit in the red. So if you get that break into the green on some money flow, you really hold this current area that we're at, which was resistance before we got that continuation towards the platinum pocket, then you can continue towards the upside just a little bit more. So keep your eye on that money flow on the shorter term time frame. We do have that 15-minute and the morning looking a little bit toppy as well, but this big hold up here is going to be your money flow. So the cool off could come with just a little bit of sideways momentum on top of the highs from back here. You do have a little bit of an area below that where you could come down to about 3,977. That's the highs from back here. That'd be a nice little bouncing area to get a continuation off of. So this is that area we had talked about on gold, and we are getting a little bit of bouncing action off of that area. We got French Toaster in the house. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We had CCJ requested, so CCJ. Cameo Corporation, apparently that is on my list. I did not own it, for full transparency on that one. This is non-energy materials. This is technically an energy material though, but it's classified under those other metals slash minerals. But a big company that does have some dealings within that nuclear space. Let me get this zoomed on out to a higher term time frame here. As you can see, it's just big body candles towards the upside. We're getting a little bit of some sell off in that pre-market for now. Let's get that fib extension tool pulled on up here. See what we're looking at for some upside movements from our lows to our highs to our lows down there. Looks like we're sitting with a rejection off of that 3382 there. So potential area for support is going to be the 2618. It is what came in as some resistance back here. You did see the weakness of it with that wick in action. So you've got your nice little wick to it, rejection off of, and then a little bit of strength to make that secondary higher low before you get that push towards the upside there. Potential to see a little bit of some sell off of the news. You are seeing a little bit of curvature here on the MACD. You've got your prime oscillator pointing back towards the upside just a little bit, but your big worry is going to be our money flow and volume being low. So pre-market opening up a little bit towards the downside. You do have the daily with a giant CME gap here that we will need to contend with as we see a little bit of some sell off. Let's get that CME gap drawn out for you. You've got from a candle body to candle body, and we'll color that in blue so you can tell it's that CME gap there. You've got that midline coming in just a little bit above our golden pocket on the 2618. So a potential bouncing area to look for first is going to be $100.42. That is the top side of that CME gap. If you can't hold that as a support area, looking a little bit further to the downside, you have your midline coming in at $94.21. If you hold that area, that would be quite bullish. Holding those midlines of our gaps are normally a little bit of a bullish action if you can get back above the top side of the CME gap. If you look a little bit towards the downside further, you do have that golden pocket coming in at $91.80. So that's also another area of interest if you can't hold the top side of the CME gap there. So definitely a little bit toppy here on the daily. That MACD running a little bit sideways here. We will kind of have to watch to see if we get that continuation of money flow on the shorter term time frame. Let's see how that hourly was looking there. You can see that nice little curvature there and opening up towards the downside this morning. We've got a lot of toppiness here on the hourly. Money flow rolling over as well. MACD rolling over. Our volumes holding us up for now, and we will have to see if we can hold up at that first $100 target. If not, we've got some lower entries on this one. So CCJ there. Nice little stock for those heavy minerals. We've got AIG. Serve was requested. That is also a stock. So let me get over to my portfolio list. There we go. Serve did get that little bit of a move towards the downside out of our CME gap. We are looking like that 50% line is a little bit of a resistance area for now. We are trying to get this break of structure here. Our pre-market is opening up towards the upside. Let's get this on the daily term. So you are seeing a little bit of sideways momentum starting to come on in, but you might need to see a little more cool off now. So I didn't end up taking profits. This is a long-term hold for me. You know, automation is an extremely big sector to kind of look out for the long term. So when I get those buying opportunities, that's normally what I do. I end up buying and waiting to and wait to hold for a little bit longer. So we did get that continuation of trend here. You've got those nice higher lows, and this was a nice little washout for anyone that isn't a diamond hands holder. As you can see, we hold our trend line quite nicely. You are getting a little bit closer towards that trend line again, so you might see that little bit of a bouncing off of it. You do see a little bit of sideways momentum coming on in here, but potential for that next little leg towards that support line here, as we do see that 50% line being our resistance locally. So let's get this zoomed back in, take a look at that hourly. We do have that red money flow here, but we're starting to see a little bit of some bottoming action. Like I said, pre-market is going to be opening up towards the upside for now, but could potentially see a little more rollover before you get that bounce off of things. So definitely looking like you could see a little continuation on that hourly, and that 15-minute is what we'd be looking for to see what kind of morning action we get. And that's why we're seeing a little bit of that bottoming here on our prime oscillator. You had that true 7 clipping on out. What is going to be the big hold up here is your sell off on that money flow and your low volume here. So definitely looking like that resistance area is going to be directly above us at about $14 before you might see that continuation towards the downside just a bit. Pre-market opening up at $13.76, and we've got that local resistance directly above us at about that $14 level. So that was served for you. Let's take a look at some of those alt requests. We had ADA on that list, so let's get that one pulled on up. We did talk about this being a little bit of an area. Then we got that nice big break towards the downside yesterday, and we're holding at least 60 64 cents for our bottoming here. We will kind of have to see if we can get that break above what was support down here on our wick, which is 65 cents here. So let's get that horizontal ray drawn on up. Oh, wrong thing. Horizontal ray here. There we go. That is going to be that area to kind of watch to see if we can get above. We'll make that a short-term time frame one, and we'll clear out some of these because that is from that old range there. We do have some areas to potentially look for a little bit of resistance at, and that's going to be that first one. We'll kind of have to see if we hold at least the bottom side here at that 64 cent range. That is our strong support for now. We've got 4 candle bodies coming in at that 64 cent range. So ADA is looking a little bit toppy on that 15-minute, but let's get this zoomed on out, see what we're looking like here on the daily. We're getting a little bit of some rollover there, but you can get some nice continuation towards the upside with the FOMC. So keep your eye on that one. We do want to hold that like 64 cent range, so keep your eye on that. We do have that hourly coming in with a bunch of upside movements here. So we did get that nice little washout bottoming on our prime oscillator. Let's get that demonstration tool pulled up, bottoming on that prime oscillator, oversold signals, reversal signal, and we're seeing a little stagnation here on that prime oscillator, but you're just starting to get that curvature back towards the upside here as it switched from light red to green. Keep your eye on that money flow on the shorter term time frame. If you can get above 65 cents, you do have a little bit of some upside momentum that you can continue on, and that top side area coming in at about 67 cents. That'd be an area to kind of watch for some resistance at. Keep your eye on that area there. So 67 cents looking like a strong little top side area to potentially see ADA hit if you can get above 65 cents. All right, we had ADA there. Let's take a look at virtuals. All right, I know I've got it on one of these. I'll have to see which one I did it on. Maybe this one. Virtuals. Looks like I charted it on this one here. So virtuals trying to hold that 50% line. We did have our support at $1.43. We've got 3 touches off of that now, and we're really failing to get above the 50 and hold that area. So we are looking a little bit worrisome on that hourly. Let's get it pulled up on that daily though. As you can see, we're holding the bottom side quite nicely. We're really failing to get above that 50% line and hold it with any semblance of strength. You are looking a little bit toppy there on the daily as well. As you can see, that prime oscillator getting that curvature, but we're not getting any reversal signals or overbought signals flashing at all. So potential to come back down to our strong support at $1.43 if we continue to fail to hold that 50% line. Let's get that zoom back in, take a look at our hourly, see what's going on there. Nice and cooled off here on the hourly. You are seeing a little bit of some curvature, but it's coming with that sideways momentum. So watch that shorter term time frame money flow. That could give you that continued rollover there. We do have that nice strong support at $1.43. Not a bad area to potentially watch for some entries and see if you can get back up above that 50% line and hit our target of 156. There's a lot of resistance above that area. We do have that prime oscillator also getting some curvature towards the upside, but it's sitting in the red. So keep that in mind here on the hourly. We will have to see if that 15-minute can give us some money flow, but it is looking a little bit toppy here. So you've got that MACD run a little bit sideways. Prime oscillator's got that reversal signal for now, and it's pointing a little bit towards the downside. Your volume is struggling just a little bit, so we are waiting for that volume to start heading our way here. We're trying to hold the 50% line right now, but I would expect to see that lost all over again, and that's where you have those entries towards the downside. At about 143, you do have another little area directly above that where you could potentially look for some bouncing at. That's a little bit below where we saw here. So $1.47 would be that first area to potentially look for some bouncing at. If you don't hold that, coming down to $1.43. So that's what I got for virtuals. Let's see. What's going on in the chat? I'm getting hungry, says Jesse. You and me both, brother. I've got some food to eat after I finish up the show before I head to work. We've got K Diggity in the house. Good morning to you. Let's see what else we got. I got my swing scalps down. Now I'm locking in to be a scalp master. It's going to be fun. Well, you have fun with that, JR. I will stick to my swing trading. I like the bigger moves. Let's see what else we got. Looks like it for now. We got Silver Days XRP in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Anything else in the chat? Jesse, it's my day off for me. Ooh, well, enjoy your day off. That's what I had yesterday. That's why we made a little bit of money. And that gold long was, whew, nice and juicy. And you were telling me to schlong it. Gold long for the win. And look, AIG. We've got virtuals breaking below that 50 right now. So I did say it looked a little bit weak. Let's get to AIG. AIG. Let's take a look at that one. IGON. I know it's been talked about by 8ace quite a bit there. Let's see. Oh, we have charted in on this one. Dang, look at that crazy price action off of that Wiccan. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at that daily time frame. That's a crazy wick there. Nice little move towards the upside, platinum pocket, and then a drop right back down to that 236 area. I'm assuming that was probably off of oh, you typed it right. Yeah, AIG, right? I don't know if I could mistype AIG, but you got that nice little move towards the platinum pocket. I'm assuming that's because of that new listing that you had talked about there. And then we failed to hold 13 cents. That was that area we would have looked for support. As you can see here, it tried to hold 13 and then immediately rolled back below that 236. We are seeing a lot of sell pressure on these candles here on the higher term time frame. So keep your eye on that money flow. We are trying to get some cool off here. You've got potential to break towards the upside as we're seeing a little bit of some bullish divergences stacked up. You've got a nice little reversal signal, and you're really waiting for some money flow as that volume sits a little bit low here. Let's see what we got going on our hourly time frame. As you can expect, nice little sideways momentum through all of this. A lot of selling pressure directly above us. I would like to get above 11.5 cents before I look for anything of long there. I don't like to play the shorter term up and down here. If you get above 11 cents, you've got your first resistance area coming in at about that 236 and 12.5 cents. And you've got your very strong resistance at 13.8. So nice little areas towards the upside. You are looking quite bottomy here on our prime oscillator here on the hourly. But you've got that strong resistance at 11.5 cents to really get above. So definitely looking a little bit nice if you can get above that 11.5 cents though. So 15-minute and the morning, continuing to see that sideways action here, trying to cool off those oscillators. You do have that bearish divergence here, and we're waiting to see if we can get some money flow in. You've got your volume holding up for now. Our nice strong support on this one coming in at 10.8. So we've got some nice strong support directly below us. where we see multiple touches here for now. You do get that nice little move below, grab up liquidity, and then right back to 10.8. So you've got a nice little constricting area. It continues to constrict below 11.5 cents. I would expect 11.5 cents to break if you get that bullish news from Jerome Powell and that rate cut from the FOMC. So potential for that move towards the upside there. I would look for continued sideways momentum for now, as we're struggling with that 11.5 cent range. So WMTX, let's get that one on the list. We've got it on Kraken here. What's got a longer history though? So we'll go with the token one off of Coinbase. We won't get our money flow, but I like longer price history. So looks like it is holding the lows there. We were a little bit worried about that, but it is holding those lows down here. We've got 14.3 being at a strong low to kind of keep your eye on. I'll make it a higher term time frame area. As you can see, we've consolidated directly on top of that for now. We've got 4 bouncings off of that one, and we will have to wait to see if we can get back above the 0 line of our fib extension tool. It looks like for now we are in a bit of a downtrend. We are struggling to really maintain that semblance of bullishness. So if we do break above that 16-cent range, that is that bottom side of our fib extension, then we can continue towards the upside with some strength. You've got that MACD running a little bit sideways above our indicator line, but still looking a little bit iffy here. And you do have those lower highs, but you've got those very equal lows, so you could sweep the equal lows and then get that move towards the upside, really flush out liquidity. You've got low volume as well. True 7 has clipped out, your reversal signal is flashed, you've got oversold signals as well, but it is looking a little bit iffy on that prime oscillator as it's sitting in the red, getting a little bit of rollover. Let's see what that hourly is looking like here. Got that nice little touch off of our strong support, and we would want to break above our resistance at 15. So a lot of touches on that area. Let's make that a shorter term time frame one to keep your eye on. We've got at least four or five touches there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches off of 15.3. So that's that area to kind of keep your eye on for resistance. If we can break above our local resistance at 14.8, then you can get that push back up to our high term time frame resistance. You've got our hourly looking a little bit nice here as it's getting some curvature back towards the upside, and that prime oscillator getting that curvature back towards the upside too. But we are doing battle with that local resistance. So let's get that 15-minute in the morning pulled up, and then we'll have to wind that show on down because it's about time for me to head to work. Let's get that short-term time frame horizontal drawn out, and that would be that area to get above, which I would expect a lot of bullish action off of. You've got a little bit of a hidden divergence here, and you're trying to gather some more strength for that break above 14.7. So really struggling here. You've got a little bit of some higher lows. You're struggling to make that next higher high here, but if you can make another little short-term pull towards the downside and gather some strength, you can get that break above 14.7, get that nice little bounce and continuation. So that's kind of what I'd look for on the shorter term time frame as you're getting that sideways action on your oscillators and you're really struggling with your money flow. So WMT, potential for some upside with that FOMC today as well. Thank you for everyone for tuning on in today. Make sure to tune in to the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. Piper's going to be breaking down what to look for today with our heavy data drop day. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. and we've got trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So great place to be if you like to trade and you like to make some money. But until next time, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Wake up, charts glowing like a sunrise dream. Coffee in my cup, got the tickers on the screen. Wallet looking heavy, but my heart stay light. Stacking sets, not stress, yeah, we'll be alright. Late nights in the bear zone, learn to fight alone. Now the green candles burning through the monochrome. Every dip's a lesson, every loss a line. We're writing our story one block at a time. Well, good morning, crypto, the world's still spinning slow. But our coins keep climbing where the fiat won't go. Another day, another chance to grow. So plug in the stream, let the markets flow. Screens flash red, but I don't lose faith. Pain breeds patience, that's the trader's grace. From the bottom to the top, we just play our role. Turn volatility into solid gold. We've been broke, we've been bold, chasing dreams that can't be sold. Every block, every code is the anthem of the new age road. Good morning, crypto, yeah, it's time to go. Stack your dreams, let the future show. We ride the waves through the highs and lows. Good morning, crypto, let the whole world know. Wake up, log in, and light that spark.